Hello, hello, everybody. How are you guys doing? Today is January 29th, day 27 on this massive momentum run, and we are almost closing into the end of the month. Can you believe it? We've been at this for 27 days, and that is just really, really super incredible. And I'm just wanting to tell you, first off, I'm really proud of you. And second off, I got some really interesting things I want to tell you today. And these things are really significant. It's really important that, we take a look at where you are and what's happening. And, we put a challenge yesterday and the day before to set up a Zoom call and do a class on Zoom. And that is your assignment. And it's really important. That's really very important to take those steps to move forward. And let me ask you, how many of you done that? And are you feeling stuck? Are you feeling like there's something behind something that's not having you move forward? Yeah, there's a lot of conversations that go on. And I think for me, I like to self-sabotage my success. And what about you? Like, what is it for you? The belief in you. We talked yesterday about the belief in you and how important that is to have really good belief in yourself. And today I'm going to talk about a lot of really good stuff here, okay? And there are stages in when you're trying to get things done and you get stuck, and you can't get motivated, you can't do that task for today, you just feel like things are just, you're in the mud, right? And what is that? How do people who are very successful, how are they able to always keep moving forward? And why is it that maybe we always seem to be stuck? Well, let me have you consider that there are stages within within what we're doing in our success, right? There are stages. And so let me just go through. You are really good at some things. Like, so let's say, for example, you're really good at your past job, or you're really good at exercising, or you're a really good cook. Why is it that you're really good at some things and organizing and putting them together? And this business, maybe you're not so good at organizing it, right? Maybe you're not so good at all those details. You're good at maybe part of it, but not all of it. We all have our strengths and our weaknesses and stuff like that. But there are stages. And so, when we take a look at our self-motivation to be able to move things through and drive ourselves, what does it take for you to drive yourself when you're really good at something? It's a lot easier because you're good at it, right? That confidence is there and stuff like that. But I would like you to consider that we are really good at surviving, right? So we are really, really good at surviving. And I'm going to have you consider that there's two areas of your life that you bounce back and forth with. Okay, so let me see if I can write on here. We couldn't find my easel, so we're doing it this way. We're going to say survival, right? And then there's crisis. So if we have our crisis level and our survival level as the two levels that we're going to talk about today. Can you guys see that okay? Shoot, you can't really see it, can you? It's so funny. Eric was having the same problem on his class. So anyway, if we're talking about crisis down here and survival being here, you will have, the point in your life is this isn't your fault because you were raised to be in the survival mode all the time. Like, you're a kid and you go to school and you're in the 4th grade and you're avoiding your homework. It's important to do your homework, but maybe you procrastinate and you don't do your homework until the very last day where you're supposed to hand it all in or you're going to flunk, right? And so you finally get it all done, you cram it in, and then you hand in your homework, and then you never look at it again, right? Maybe you flunk, you have to go back and do it over again. Those are outside circumstances that have you do that, meaning you are pushed because that grade, that class, that assignment, that task needs to be done by a certain day. And then you decide along the way how you're going to go about it. Some people will do it all the time during that quarter of that class. Some people will do that homework, maybe a week before. Other people will do it the day that needs to be turned in. But you have that date that is an outside external assignment, something that came to you that you have to fulfill. Bills are paid on a certain day. Your rent is paid on a certain day. If you don't pay your rent, you're kicked out of your apartment, right? If you don't pay your car bill, you lose your car. And so those aren't things that you decided. You may have decided it when you agreed to do that. Like if you agreed to go to college, or you agreed to move into that apartment to pay that rent, you agreed to have that car bill. But it's still a outside circumstance that pushes you and drives you to pay that rent. Now, if there was no rent due, would you ever pay it? Probably not, right? Because then we sink down, and then maybe we go back and forth from, oh my gosh, you're going to kick me out, into the crisis mode, and then we bounce back. Okay, I got more money. I can pay the rent now. And we bounce back down here. Oh, crisis mode. Oh my gosh. And then we go back up here, and then we bounce. We live our life in this mundrum of back and forth, and really trying to get back. And I think some people really, honestly, they thrive in this. They love the crisis mode. It's an addiction, really, that they have the drama, that they are living in a lower energy of society when they go back and forth from survival to crisis. And it's difficult, right? It's like really, like this seems to be almost the way most people live in their society. And so, the reasons that are built into living this way are, again, outside. They're external. I'm going to use a different color. So they're external. External things that come in. Parents tell kids that they have to clean up their room, or pass that fourth grade or else, and you push the pressure on, right? That pressure's coming to that person at a different level. And then you have the crisis mode, that things got to happen, and then you push, and then they get up to survival. Okay, thank God they passed that grade, on to the next. And then again, you have to do that all over again, right? And so I had to come to a point in my life where I wasn't going to live like this. This is just not the way I want to live my life. It's not acceptable to me, for me. And you have to really come to terms for yourself to see if that is something that you're willing to live with. And I will venture to guess you are not one of those people. You wouldn't be here today if you were. Maybe you're still stuck in this mode because this is how you only know and were trained to operate since you were 2. And so that is something that you don't need to really seriously blame yourself or get down on yourself about that, okay? But let me tell you, there's something that you can do about it. So what you can do is write down all the things that you are stuck in this mode. Take a look at what you keep bouncing back and forth in your survival mode, right? So I want you to consider that this here, you blame other people for it. You blame other people for what's going on in this life. Like, oh, they're not going to pay me for this, or they fired me from this job, or it's all blaming others. But if you can actually start looking at internal conversations that you're having, then you can move up to the next level. And that is success. That becomes an internal conversation. That becomes an internal, all the different things that you're going to talk about. Self-motivation. What are those things that drive you? It's okay to make money. We all have to make money. We all have to pay our bills and stuff like that, right? It's okay to make money and to not feel guilty about it. Like to go to a restaurant and not have to worry about how much it is if you're going to be able to pay for it. Or go travel if you're going to have enough money to do that. It's okay to make money. And that's what this whole thing is about, is to be able to make money but you're never going to be able to make any money at anything unless you can stop having the blame, right? This is a conversation about external. If you could start looking at your goals and your self-driven purpose. And so, like when you get on a plane and they ask you to put your mask on first before you put on your mask on your child, look at that as a mask on to be able to be responsible for getting your bills paid, to be responsible for them. This is not a crisis mode. It's not a survival mode. It's a success mode. You are doing everything it takes to be able to be living as an internal responsibility, as an internal self-love, to be able to be responsible. You cannot earn a living until you actually have this handled. And you may be bouncing back and forth, like you may have a place in time where, oh yeah, you got this handled, you got the rent thing taken care of, you got a job, and you might come back down here, maybe you got fired again. But if you are actually starting to live more in this and levelating more up here, then you are developing those habits and those things that are really going to take you into the success mode. It's an internal belief, an internal conversation that you have with yourself, and all these things are being handled. I realized at one point in time over this last couple of years is that when I listen to other people's excuses and other people's doubts and other people's negativity, it actually sucks me down to this level. And I do not want to be living in that mode. I want to be leveling up here. And so, how would it be like if you were hanging around somebody that's always down here in this area? So, if you're a leader and you're looking to be building up your teams, then be a stand for this kind of conversation and self growth, self development. Okay. And so, take a minute. You must make a list of what drives you. So, what are those things that give you purpose and give you reasons to wake up and do that assignment again? Like if you were in fourth grade, did you ever do that assignment again? But what would it take if you were to do that assignment 3 or 4 times and get really good at it? What would it take for you to do those classes, do Zoom calls, do those things over and over and over again and get really good at it? I can tell you to do that, but you have to actually do that yourself to be able to find self confidence and all that self worth and putting the mask on for yourself to be able to be good so that you can actually take care of others. So again, make a list of those internal things that drive you. Is it buying a car? Is it up-leveling where you live? Is it building a church? I mean, there could be many different things that you really are self-driven within. And I will tell you that I have always had that hunger. I've always had that dream within me to be bigger than I know myself to be. What is it like to be able to travel the world? What is it like? I have those strong, huge desires within me that have me sit in my office and do that work. And it's not work. It actually is a lot of fun. And it is a lot of self-driven purpose for myself. Okay. Again, this is internal. This is all about me and myself, right? To be able to hone in on those habits. All right. So what is that for you? Take a look at that. And then what I want you to do is actually consider another step, that there is another level. You know, we can go in and talk about how sick and tired I was. I remember when I was in high school, I seemed like I had this car that always broke down. And when I went to college, that car always broke down and I wanted another car and I got another car and that car always broke down. And then I got a brand new car and that car broke down. And it just seemed like I was living in this area here. And the crisis that I was living in was drama. And it was actually keeping me in that area. So, basically you can't get paid big money helping other people if you're not taking care of yourself. And think about it. If you have a desire, if you're one of those people that loves to support other people before you support yourself, with doTERRA, what's really incredible about this business model is that you are helping yourself when you are helping other people. So that's kind of a really beautiful thing. Like when I'm helping my downline to reach their next rank, then they're helping me be my next rank. So together we can actually work together to make that happen. So, take your assignment is to write down what's keeping you in here. and what kind of self-conversation and self-inspiration that you can have to get you into the sex rank. Now, I'm going to tell you that there's one more level. There's one more level. This level, we're going to make it pink. This level up here is called significance. Right here, significance. And one of the really cool things when I was listening to this morning, I thought, oh my gosh, significance is one of my top strengths in the Strength Finders. When you do that personality test, significance is number 4. And I kind of didn't like it. I thought significance is all about me and all this stuff like that. But no, significance means that you become a value to others. So you're significant to them. So you are actually external again. You become an external drive. You are actually living within this means of being able to help the world bigger than you know yourself to be. And so let me just kind of tell you some of my notes here. If we took everything away from you, if I took everything away from you have right now, your car, your house, all your money, and threw you into a homeless shelter, how long could you live there? Like in a homeless shelter, how long would you actually stay in a homeless shelter? How long? Would it be, 2 weeks? Could you handle 2 weeks in a homeless shelter? No, you probably couldn't even handle an hour because you don't belong there. You don't belong at this level. You belong operating more, being significant to others. You are designed to be a contribution for the world, right? You are designed to be making a difference. You are designed to be bigger than you know yourself to be. But you can't get here until you master this. And you can't get here until you really fight for it. Don't live in these conversations. Live in these conversations and get your habits and your beliefs and your all this last 30 days we've been doing is practicing and getting us into the exercise of how we are with an internal conversation of having us not let that dialogue pull us back down in here, but to live here. And then our goal is to get you here and to have you live in an extraordinary, beautiful, powerful place of making a difference for others. And one of the things that I want to share with you, because I just thought this was beautifully written, is you have to manufacture things to get you out of this crisis mode, right? To be here in the success mode. And now there's going to be a time where this isn't even going to be acceptable for you because this is really boring. It's boring here being in the success. Nobody really cares, right? Because it's all about you. But when you get here and you make it about other people, then that's really where things are really sweet. That is where things become really, where things matter, right? There's a really good saying that it's not a sacrifice to be here. It's a privilege. It's a privilege. This is ugly down here. This is so hard. This is the mud, right? And it's kind of hard here too a little bit because you're really developing those habits, right? Well, basically one of the things he said that I also thought that was really pretty cool is having a car, flying a private plane is fun, but we should enjoy those things. We should enjoy our successes and have that. But really, that doesn't matter. That really doesn't matter. It's when you're here and making a significance and a difference for others is really what it matters. These things are the levels of success that you had. But if you're going to just keep playing here, it's all about you. It's all about you, and you're not going to survive into that. You are going to actually fall down in here. You're going to be pulled down from all the other conversations that other people have around you. That's not working. I can't do this. Nobody can do network marketing. But what are you doing that for? That's this world right here, you guys. And so develop those mindsets and develop that to be able to be here where the gold is, where the juice is, where you're actually making a huge significance for others. Because that's really our deep down inside our hearts when we're down here. It's like, I just want to make a difference for other people. And you can do that when you're up here. And there was one more thing he said here that I really thought was just really cool. Pouring yourself into others is where the oxygen is. So when you really start pouring yourself into others, you can't do it when you're in this mode, because it's kind of like taking bad advice from somebody who's really bad at it. Like people who've been married like 5 or 6 times and they're trying to give you marriage advice. It just doesn't work. Or people who have had bankruptcy and they're trying to give you financial advice. It just doesn't work, right? Are you going to listen to those people? Are your leaders going to listen to you if you haven't had success? Yeah, no. And so working in this area to be able to be here where the oxygen is and where belief is, people believe in you, people are seeing that you are making a difference for so many other people, that's where it is. So the 90-day run is all about developing you, about you, to get to the level of the 6 figures, the dream of traveling, all these great things that you want, so that you can make an external difference in life. Well, I hope this was helpful for you guys, and I'd love to hear what you have to say about that in the chat. And people, I want you to just know something, that Larry and me and Suzanne and all of us really want the best for you. We truly want you to be here, because then that's what we're living, is making a difference for you. And I know I'm showing up every day for you because I believe in you. Because we believe in you. And if you can really see that and have that and mirror this on what you can do for your team, wow, it'll be incredible. So I hope this was helpful for you guys. Make some comments below and we'll have a great day for me, okay? Bye.